guys, Mr. Tanner here. We're at 3-3. Some really helpful stuff I want to talk to you about, and this is about taking exams and preparing for exams. All right, so a couple of things, and I want you to look at it as a pre-game and then a game situation and then a post-game situation. All right, so I'm going to read off some notes. I'm going to also give you these specifically so you can read a little more into them, but I'm going to give you the short notes right here. Number one, keep up with your work. Okay, it's going to lead into two, don't cram at the last second. So this is your pre-game setup. Just working along in a way that keeps you up to date as you go, takes off a lot of stress, but B, it takes away a lot of preparation. If you're cramming for exams, especially if they're the major final exams of the year, or even the AP level exams, those that are state given exams, you're going to get yourself into trouble because you're not going to learn this the night before. It's just not going to happen. So if there's an opportunity, complete a mock test. Okay, that's step number 3. Complete a mock test. Find a practice. You're not sure how a teacher tests. Ask her, can you give me an example, or him, can you give me an example of something you've given in the past? Because if you're coming into an exam blind, you're really going to get yourself into trouble. Go back. I would always say, see if you can find a prior year's test. Hopefully the teacher's changing their test every year. But I know with the high-level exams like AP and those, you can find old mock tests, or hopefully the teachers are using the online information to help you out there. When studying, do not multitask. Do not think you are capable of multitasking and doing 2 or 3 things while I'm trying to study this and I'm texting friends. You know what? Like I said earlier, give the phone to your parent, put it in the other room. Do whatever you have to do to really kind of stay successful there, but focus on test preparation. Okay, let's see. Talk to your teacher before it. Find out if they have office hours. What can I expect? Usually they'll have some very good advice as to what the format will be, but also pay attention in class if you can. Now, if you know what the essay is going to be about, let's say it's an essay exam, you might want to be thinking about what possible subject matter they could be asking you. It's usually pretty easy if you know what you've been studying for that time period. You can probably come very close to what the essay will be about. You know, if you're in social studies, if you've been learning about the Industrial Revolution, guess what? It's probably going to be an exam on the Industrial Revolution as far as essays are concerned. So if you have a teacher that gives essay exams, you might want to just kind of try to outthink them and what they'll put on. Number 7, find a group of dedicated students. Not kids that are going to be messing around, not kids that are going to take your attention or your time, but dedicated kids who are really going to help you study and keep you on task, because they will hold you accountable just like you'll hold them accountable. You know, hang out with people that are worried about their grades. Okay, not just the cute boy or the cute girl in class. Oh, this is my study partner. No, find the kids that want to make good grades. Remember, this is a fun time in high school, but when it comes down to exams, don't mess around a whole bunch. Keep your ears open in class. You're going to hear directions. You're going to hear hints. I know in my class, I'm very good at saying hint, hint. And when you hear those key words, you better be listening to what I'm about to say next. Use your review sheets thoroughly if they're given to you. If they're not, create your own. Use Quizlet, create note cards, create anything you can that you can play around with that's a lot more interesting than just going in trying to read the book or something and understand it. Review things like videos that the teacher has online, right? Take notes during the course readings. We went through that last one. I showed you. Use your Cornell notes. Go through, read, and update yourself. And then to be a true learner, you have to find a way to apply the materials from class. Okay? Look for opportunities. If it's a math test or a science test, out in the real world, go and say, all right, you know what, that would apply there. That's what they mean. Find those examples just to kind of push that learning a little bit further. So next, game day. This is performing well on the test. Number 1, create a morning routine. Get you something to eat every morning, something high protein that's going to wake you up. Believe it or not, dark chocolate's a good one, and peppermint right before a test. That'll snap you out of it, get the brain kind of kicking in. But create a morning of routine where you sit down with a handful of 20 cards of the words you don't know or the concepts you don't know more than any, and just concentrate on those. Okay. Number 2, plan an attack. The test drops in front of you. Don't just start on number 1. First thing, read the directions. The directions will push you the right way to go. But then plan your attack. Do you just want to do the longer reading questions first and then come back? Do you want to... I've seen kids that work from the back of the test forward because they feel the easier questions are on the back. You know, that's another strategy that's been used. But if you can, in the margins of your test, go ahead and write the formulas you'll need. You know, you just learned those over breakfast, and I write them down, because once you write them down, you'll have them. You don't have to remember them. You don't have to bring it up while you're trying to move forward on the test. If you're writing an essay and you have time, just a quick outline of your essay. What's it going to be about? Where are you going to put the things? Now, as you prepare for multiple choice exams, make sure that you're aware of really the context relationships and the position of concepts within concepts, right? That's a very deep thinking point, and what I want you to do is make sure you understand what you're being tested on, right? And that will, believe it or not, help you remove some answers. Get rid of, you know, if there's 4 multiple choice questions, I always try to get rid of the 2, dumb and dumber. Get rid of those first, and if you are guessing at the answer, at least you've increased your odds to a 50-50 guess, which is usually beneficial. If you're learning vocabulary, push yourself to a deeper understanding of the vocabulary, right? Don't just stop with the easy memorized definition. I think you need to go a little bit deeper on that. Always leave the time-consuming problems for the very last. Get as many points as you can, and then go back to that one you're really scratching your head on, the one you really, it's going to take some time. Knock that one out last. If it's worth the same amount of points, you've at least limited, you know, how many points you don't get if you don't finish that one. But you've done the easier ones, the shorter ones, you get those points first. Finally, focus on the question at hand. Know what the question is asking. Do not assume you know what it's asking. You know, we've taught you little strategies all the way from elementary to junior high. Circle the actual question. You can still do that on these exams, most exams. Circle it. This is what it's asking me. Because if you're not sure what the actual question is, you can't answer it, right? So take the time. Next, if you're stuck on a question, go past it and come back later. That's all you have to do. Bypass it, put a star beside it, mark it, circle it, do something so you know you need to come back and answer it, and then be very careful on your fill in the dot sheet that you are not getting out of order, okay? And then finally, show as much work as possible at all times, because the teacher may see this and give you a little bit credit. You know, you're like, well, I did this for this reason, and then it may just be a logarithmic error where you did the wrong math and you missed it, but at least you got 3/4 of the problem right. So take your time anyway, go through and do that. Now, post-game reviewing, always hold on to your notebooks. Always, if you get a chance, go over the exam. Sometimes the teacher won't hand the exam back, in which case you need to go in after school and use that opportunity to go over the questions you missed. Good teaching says go over those questions and determine it and share it with the student. But sometimes I need a lot of effort, or teachers need a lot of effort from you to come see me, especially when you, like I said, you have 175 students. I would rather go over your test one-on-one and make sure you knew, and then always look at your preparations and figure out, what did I do wrong, what did I do right, and then try to mimic that or recreate that for your next exam. Finally, when you're over with a big exam, okay, reward yourself. Give yourself a night off. Head down to a store, get yourself an ice cream cone. Hang out with somebody you wanted to hang out with, man. You've been working for this. This is where you own this, so you've earned the reward. Reward yourself. That's always good. All right, we'll see you in the next session.